welcome. Yeah, welcome to Amelia and Jordan Unleashed.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honour.
Tonight we've got Alastair, who, if you know the shop, then you may already know Alastair.
But I'm a guest.
He's a guest.
I'm not being treated like a guest, though.
You are.
I'm
You're not
joking.
really a guest you treated.
Drink. You have a seat.
I'm joking. Thank you for inviting me.
And the reason we brought Alastair on isn't to talk about the shop
No.
or what we've done before. It's to talk about what he's doing now.
Yeah. Why I'm doing it.
Yeah, why you're doing it, what it is, what's going on.
You know, have you spoken about before, like what we've done before with Nuts for Pets and Pet Shop?
A little bit, but we can go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, D33, I think it was last year that I was coming up with the idea. It's going to be called Good Stuff at that point, which is a much better, no, it's not a much better name. It's a different name. D33 is a much better name. But I think I had my heart set on Good Stuff as a name.
Yeah.
The idea came from having lots of different products in our shop, which are lots of different supplements, lots of different functions, and I think learning more and more within the industry. I mean, before we had a Nairobi, we were just going to feed Nairobi dog biscuits.
Yeah.
We weren't interested in like raw food, fresh food. We just thought that was completely ridiculous. I think once you get a dog and you have that relationship with a dog, you build up that kind of personality with them, and actually you realize how important they are in your lives and how important it is to do so many good things because you're in control of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite a unique situation where yourself, you can be really flexible with your own eating habits, drinking habits, social activities. But when you're in control of someone else or something else, that becomes really important. And I think that's a massive lesson I learned with Nairobi. And you're amazing at this, but the diet that we give Nairobi with like fresh food, raw food, and that's just developed into giving her more and more fresh stuff, trying to make her as healthy as possible for as long as possible. Lots of people say that. I didn't realise how well known that is as a saying. We thought we created it for the shop, but we didn't.
What? Healthier and happier?
Yeah, everyone says that.
Really?
Yeah.
But I guess everyone wants to do that. And like there's this really big movement at the moment of awarding pet food and calling it like the best pet food in the UK or like the best kibble. And I'm a bit like, you can't all have the best pet food.
But you also...
why is that?
Warm in some way.
Why are we striving for
There
that
shouldn't
award?
even be like a category of that. It should just be the best food for your dog. Kibble is really highly processed food. So go back to why we created this. It's making it really convenient. So there's lots of supplements which really do benefit dogs. In theory, a dog shouldn't need supplements if it's eating the correct food because it should be getting all that food from Whole Foods itself. Yeah. But the issue is like 75% of dogs are eating processed food. So what we wanted to do with this was rather than creating an all-in-one type product, which we have done, we wanted to create something which complements lots of variety. So dogs getting lots of different nutrients from lots of different sources, which are whole foods, rather than being synthetic ingredients. So we're not here to cure joints. We're not here to cure itchy skin. We're here to slowly increase the health benefits so your dog is healthier. And if we do that, all of those things eventually disappear because your dog's healthy. Mm-hmm. We're not here to cure any ailments from bad diet. So we can educate people. We can give them a nutritional balance? Grounding? I don't know the right way to say that. Like a nutritional start.
Yeah, like a basis?
Yeah, like a basic covering.
Level.
Yeah, a basic level. And if you are taking that, like, there's a huge variety. There's 33 different ingredients in there. There's such a variety of different ingredients for different functions. It kind of creates that well-rounded nutrient balance that will improve dog's health.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's why we created it. I met my business partner, Mike. He came into the pet shop. I'm a blabbermouth, as you probably know. I'll just speak my mind and say all my 20 different thoughts in my head at all times, which is a good thing, I think. Mike came into Techbury to visit us and to visit Chavenage. I think he saw our dancing videos on TikTok or Instagram. I wanted to come and see what a pet shop was about, which is really cool. And I just started blabbering at him about this product. I heard he was interested in the pet space. There's another product which is coming soon. I won't say anything about that, but that's a few years down the line.
And he came in as an investor. He introduced himself like that?
No.
Or did you just decide that he looked like the right person, was saying the right things, and you would just approach him?
None of that. He came in here and he was asking about food and stuff. So he was asking about like dog food and diet, and we just got chatting, and he was asking about fresh food. I was talking through a different dog. I think he'd seen an advert for it before. We were talking about that. We were talking about the supplements and then the raw food and stuff. And I started then explaining our background. I said that we're selling a company. I've got this idea for a new supplement. He then mentioned like he's got this idea for a dog product. I was like, oh, I feel like interested in that. And then he then went on to say he's exiting his company, so he's got more free time, happy to give advice, and that's what I initially thought about. So I found him on LinkedIn afterwards, sent a message, say, great to chat to you. It'd be great to chat to you further about this. And yeah, we went to Martin Malthouse when he was next to the Cotswolds, just had a drink and kind of discussed what my ideas were. He initially said that he'd be really happy to invest, but then actually his situation changed where I think he's gone through a journey. He used to feed like Royal Canin to his dog, to Targa, and he's gone through a journey of now adding more whole foods, seeing the difference in her health and adding supplements, and he's gone through that stage I think that I went through a few years ago, and actually understanding the benefits of how adding all this fresh stuff can really make a difference and then noticing it. So I think it was kind of really perfect timing for him to be free time-wise, and then also willing to partner up with me as well. So we're 50-50 on this. You're not involved.
I'm out.
You're out. Which is a different experience as well, because we've always run businesses together, right?
Yeah.
So this is a different experience for us, which I'm quite enjoying. Not that I'm not enjoying working with you, but it's a different experience.
No, it's nice.
It's not, okay.
Weird. Like, not weird, but it actually must be quite nice because then you come home and you can talk about different things
Yeah,
instead
other
of
stuff.
the other businesses you have together.
We just talk about the businesses that we don't do together.
I know, you still just talk about it.
So, does your business partner still feed Royal Canin, or is he moving over to raw or home?
So he's feeding different dog at the moment, so really fresh food, and then he's adding lots of other fresh ingredients.
Oh, sweet.
So I think I saw a bowl of his food and there's more fresh food than anything else in there, which is amazing.
That's really good. Has you found the transition like fairly easy from going like to just your easy ass kibble, bought, goes in a bowl, don't have to think about it. And
Yeah.
now he's having to like defrost the food and then like add stuff to it. Is he enjoying it?
I think so. I think you enjoy the process more. Like when you're just feeding kibble isn't really doing much. You're just scooping and that's it. Whereas once you start feeding fresh, you're really thinking about things more. Just like cooking and stuff. Like you're looking at those ingredients. You're adding. Oh, maybe she's gonna love this. Or no, she really loves blueberries. I'm gonna add blueberries today because she really likes that. And then you're learning all these different things, and I think that's building a better relationship with yourself and your dog as well. So yeah, he's found that really. I think he was nervous. I think he said after our conversation the first time we met, he was nervous about transitioning because that's great at repairing injuries and stuff, but they're not nutritionally trained. They don't know anything about diet, and I'd love to have a debate with the vet about this. Yeah, they're not nutritionally trained, and they will scare people. From not as a malicious way. I don't believe anyone's doing anything maliciously. I think they are just what they know about scientific food, which I guess there's still debate on that. Scientific food, which seems like it's perfectly formulated, it covers all those bases, but it's still ultra processed.
Yeah.
They think that is the best thing for dogs because scientifically it ticks all the boxes, and they are cautious of other things which don't have that same scientific backing because they don't have a £1 billion company backing them to do that backing.
And then they get commissions.
And then they get commissions and they're selling that product and it's a high margin.
Yeah.
But also it's just what they're constantly taught at
Yeah.
vet school.
Yeah.
Makes my life to me.
I thought it's my stinky feet, but it's clearly your stronger smell.
They only learn a day on nutrition.
Yeah.
And it's sponsored by Nestle.
Mars and Nestle, yeah.
Yeah.
Even-
So like this processed kibble is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Just have this.
it's not like a great base level to work from,
Yeah.
and unless they have the time to then go out and not retrain but to learn a bit more about nutrition
Yeah.
and all of those complete things.
But there's no
It's
research.
never
There's no
gonna-
research going into that because no company can afford to do that.
No.
Only the bigger companies. They have their own. Mars and Nestle have their own scientific research center, which provides all their research for them.
But then it's always going to be biased. There's going to be like just look at
Completely.
this.
Why would they say anything against their products?
Yeah.
It's
They're
massive as well.
It's
isn't it?
huge. It's the biggest research facility in the UK for wellness of dog products. Everything goes through there, and it's all funded by them. Just Google it. I don't remember what the name is, but it's owned by Mars and Nestle.
Yeah, it's up north somewhere,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Crikey.
So yeah,
They can choose what they push through.
absolutely. Then they can weigh the side of it. It's the same way like Coke research goes through as well. Like Coke has been proven not to do that to people.
Are you talking as a
Coca-Cola.
drink or
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I just double check. What are we talking about?
Coca-Cola. But they'll do the same research and they can tweak it so it seems really positive.
That's naughty.
Yeah.
And I take it that it's such an unregulated area. There's no official governing body going, actually, that's a load of nonsense. You're being cheeky. It's just them going, look at all this funding we've got.
Yeah. I mean, even if there was a governing body, I mean, does that even help? Like, because you could just easily pay someone off.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what these companies do all the time.
Yeah. It's just I think if you apply simple logic to it, if something grows in a field naturally, it's going to be better for you than something created in a lab with chemicals and processing and stuff. And in fact, everything's taken from here and then hugely processed. Just skip out that and see the bloody apple.
Yeah.
It's so much easier, and it makes so much sense. I think anyone would not see sense in that. But I think the marketing behind pet food is really, really awful. That everybody thinks of a little brown biscuit as dog food.
Even now.
Yeah.
Even, like, after all these years, I still, if you say dog food, like, straight away, it's biscuits.
It's the most incredible branding. Incredible marketing.
It just shouldn't exist, the phrase.
Dog food.
Yeah.
It should just be food.
But obviously, you have created D33.
Yes.
And you've created it as a supplement.
Yes.
So, what does it look like?
It is a green powder. So what it is these 33 ingredients. The main colourings in there, not colourings, but the natural colourings are spirulina chlorella, which are really dark green, which make the powder green. It's a powder. Reason why we do a powder rather than a capsule or a tablet or a treat, we don't need to add anything in it to make it form. A dog would have to swallow a capsule or something, a binding agent, to make that then ingestible for them. Don't do any of that. It's just either freeze-dried or air-dried ingredients. So that's dried, moisture taken out of it, and then blitzed into a powder. That's it. It's really simple.
So it keeps all of its nutritional value.
Yeah.
It's whole food.
It's whole food. It's real food. There's nothing else added to it. It's just what it is, which is really nice.
What would you say is your favourite ingredient in it?
I think the most interesting ingredient and my favourite ingredients are two different things. So I think my favourite ingredient would either be lion's mane or ashwagandha, because I've seen the most difference with it. Yeah. So I take lion's mane every day, and I've noticed my brain is better. I noticed not having it versus I noticed having it. So lion's mane actually really makes a difference to my brain focus, which I think is incredible. Yeah. Nari was having this for the last 2 months, and she's calmer, more settled from having this, and I can see that's the only correlation. She's pretty bad with other dogs in public spaces when we sat down. That's dropped by 50 to 70%, and that's the only thing that's changed. We haven't changed her training or anything like that, so that's made the biggest difference there.
That's really good.
The most interesting, it's huge.
That's really good.
It's wild.
I was trying to think of anything else to say, like what else would correlate with that, but I think that's the only change that we've made.
Because she's fully grown, like she's over the age of 3, isn't she? So
she's
it's not like
a bit fully grown too much at the moment.
She keeps eating all her dinner that we leave out in the sun to defrost.
Yeah, but usually she wouldn't.
It's after you guys were roasting. Oh no, Ropey never does that.
She doesn't.
No, she never steals food. Never does.
She's done it twice in a row in the last 2 days. Unbelievable. She knows she's done wrong. She looks really sad about it. Yeah, but
she goes upstairs to bed.
Yeah, you can't see, you can't tell me.
The most interesting ingredient is the bamboo silica. So it's an extract of bamboo, and it's incredibly good for joints. I've never seen that in a different supplement before.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, bamboo silica. So extracted from bamboo, not processed, not heated, just the silica derived from the bamboo, and that's really good for their joints. It'd be really interesting to see how that does affect dogs and their joints. It's probably the most expensive ingredient in there. I think that's the most powerful, yeah. I think so, yeah. What else?
And what's the idea? Is the idea that can it go on any food? Like,
yeah.
Is it only to be used with raw food?
No. So the mission with this business is to educate people into feeding more fresh food. So what I want this to do is I want people to take this, see how simple the ingredients are, and they're like, oh, I've got some blueberries, I'll add some extra blueberries. And I want people to start engaging with their dog more. That's the goal. It can go on anything now. So it can go on raw, fresh, kibble, wet food, home cooked. It can go with anything, and it will be a great boost to anything. because foods are so limited, even we've got natural here, right? There's about 15 or 20 different varieties.
Yeah.
That's hard to then feed that throughout the month. You got another 33 varieties of stuff you're adding into that. So there's no other food or option to feed such a variety of foods from a commercial dog food, unless you're cooking yourself and adding all this variety of ingredients. Even then, that's pretty tricky.
Yeah.
It's still pretty tricky to boost that up. So it goes really well with anything. We add fenugreek, which is a natural appetite stimulant, which makes the dogs. I'll go upstairs and just. But that helps with fussy dogs. So if your dog's fussier as well, a secondary benefit is your dog will enjoy eating this.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually tested the theory with fenugreek. I never know how to say it.
Fenugreek or fenugreek?
I can tell you, but
No.
it's not right.
I learned this on Google the other day. It spoke to me.
Google's with you.
Yeah, because it tells you how to pronounce things, doesn't it? If you don't know.
It's actually really handy.
Yeah.
I know quite a lot.
But I tested this with your mum's dog when she was staying. So Vera, she has a small Chihuahua that doesn't eat much. She's super, super fussy. Like, she won't eat raw food, won't eat raw meat. She only likes
Chicken.
Turkey and chicken, cooked chicken. And she loves like a pouch of shitty wet food.
Yeah.
Like, loves it.
Yeah.
So
Sugar.
yeah, she's like a little sugar addict, a little fiend. Which is interesting. Is we spoke about it, about like lineage and how far down the line do they have to be to change appetite and stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But anyway, going off the piece. So I put it in like a stew I made her. So usually your mum uses mince and it's quite small, and she puts rice with it, and everything's like tiny, tiny pieces. But I'm lazy, so I just cut up the chicken into big bits. And I was thinking like, oh, she might not eat it, she's only got a tiny mouth. So I added fenugreek to it just to see, and she loved it.
Yeah.
Like, she was so excited to eat every
That's
single
good.
time.
That's really good.
So I think it really does make a difference.
Yeah, it does. And it's got a natural flea and tick repellent, like bug repellent as well in fenugreek.
You see it in natural powders, which again is another bonus. You've got garlic in there.
Garlic, neem. Yeah, garlic and neem in there as well to help with those. Got nettle leaf, some stingy nettle leaf in there.
Oh wow.
Mint for breath. Like this, it covers everything.
And with the garlic, was there an issue with
Not for
adding
me.
that in?
Not for me. If you go online and Google, is garlic good for my dog? It'll say it's bad for you. But then look who the source of that is. You have to eat. So I think it worked it out, the calculation. It's on our website. I can't remember the exact calculation off the top of my head, but it's essentially your dog needs to eat its body weight in garlic to be an issue.
Which, to be fair, if your dog ate its body weight in anything,
It would be an issue.
Would always be an issue.
Same with people. Like if I ate pasta in my body weight, I'd be in serious shit.
A banana's always a funny one. If
Yeah.
you eat too many bananas, you die of potassium poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's BS, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, don't feed a tiny chihuahua 50 cloves of garlic. She's not going to like it.
I feel like
She probably wouldn't eat it either.
Exactly. I just feel like it would never happen.
It's not going to happen.
Like, what dog is going to eat that much?
But yeah, it's really good for flea and tick.
So it does do everything.
Does do everything, but it's not meant to cure anything.
Yeah.
It's just meant for... our goal is longevity, I think, is the main focus. And how can we hack that to make dogs live longer, which they should live longer. Dogs should be living double the age that they have. But for the last 100 years... How many years has the kibble been around?
I think it's since 1890.
So it's for a while. I think more like in the last 20 years, dogs have been feeding more processed food though.
Yeah, well, since the 70s, or like post-war as well. So everything, even our own food like became convenience was like the biggest thing. Like, to sell things, it had to be convenient. Women started going to work. They didn't stay at home and cook food for the family. So it was all about like, how convenient can we make it for the mum that
And make it last as well.
Yeah,
but I think
is at home,
initially, like stuff like the tinned ingredients initially probably weren't that bad, and I think over time there's just like more and more stuff has been taken out of them, and more shit has been added into them to make them last longer. Whereas like corned beef, like 50 years ago, it's just basically salt as a preservative. And if you think about like kimchi and sauerkraut, salt will preserve them. That's not a bad thing, but you then start to see all these other oils and like processes of like potato starch, all these other things added in there now to make the product cheaper. And it's interesting, like you look at farming, the incentives for farming at the moment are not to make food, or to make food for highly processed food, like the rapeseed oil and the grains. Certain grains are just being used in the highly processed food, and there's more demand for that, which is really ironic.
And you get grants.
Yeah, there's grants for that.
Making it.
Which seems so backwards, doesn't it? Because then, there is this big revolution of, we want fresh, nice food and vegetables, and then you have all the wastage from that ugly fruit and veg. But like you say with farming as well, there's been such a big shift in genetically modified seeds to mass produce these things, but then it's taking away
fresh food
and the nutritional value from the mass produced GMO'd products because they want volume instead of quality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's more addictive. Like, they're going to sell more packets of crisps than they are potatoes.
Yeah.
There's more demand for that, and it's more profitable to do that. Like, crisps is a bad example, perhaps, but like noodles or
4p, but a packet of crisps going to cost you £1.
But no one makes their own crisps.
No.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, there's more demand for having that processed food, which creates a bad circle. So yeah, it's kind of like we want to educate people as well as give them a benefit along the way. And I think that's our main goal. Yeah.
It sounds great, because I think all it does is, even if people add it to kibble and notice the difference, the flies, then once they're sprinkling that on, they look at the ingredients, they may then go, oh, well, there's not been any adverse reactions. If anything, I can only see positive.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start adding in more fresh food. And it doesn't have to be like going out and buying a dog a whole fridge full of their own food. It can just be scraps.
Yeah. Not like salty scraps, but like fresh veggie, like end of a carrot or end of a broccoli. If you're not using that, just give it to your dog. Save it up, put it in a little bag, give it to your dog. Yeah. Perfect. Freeze it, make a little chew or something when it's hot as well. Like all these stuff, like it's just educating people that dogs can eat pretty much everything. And the more they eat and the variety, the better they'll be.
Yeah. You've got the whole grain myth, haven't you?
Yeah.
Of everyone being like, my dog can't have grains because they're gluten-free, they're all of this. And it's like, your dog just can't have, has a hard time processing your generic grains, but ancient grains, great.
Yeah.
Full of everything they need. Same with this.
The problem is that you go grain-free and then you switch to potato.
Yeah, which is just a starchy filler.
Yeah.
So same as peach starch, lentil starch. It's gross. They're just really processed ingredients. Just feed them real stuff.
Yeah.
And hopefully D33 is going to do that.
Yeah.
So how do you buy D33?
So D33, www.d33.dog. It's on TikTok as well. daily.d33.
Is that what the D stands for?
D, yes. Oh yeah, let's go to that. Daily 33. So daily 33 ingredients. There's 33 servings and 66 grams in a packet. This is our pouch. This is our first trial pouch. We've got a Founders Edition tin as well to go with it. So if you buy through our website and subscription, you get a free tin, free scoop, so you know exactly how many scoops you're giving in a tin. I should have brought a tin with me. That would have been good. But yeah, that's really exciting. So that's going to be available on our website. We're going to be speaking with a few insurance companies to help grow. Do you want to talk about how we're going to grow it?
I think so. I think it's interesting for people to hear. Obviously, Jordan and I talk about the food stuff quite a lot. But yeah, just share what you like because you're a guest.
I'm a guest.
Yeah,
so business end of it. You both know me. Then the business end of it. So, my seat is all funny. We're trying to launch it to be available for lots of people. So, lessons learned from Nuts of Pets are supplying to wholesalers makes it really tricky to run a business. So we want to supply directly to the consumer, so we can give the best price to the consumer versus giving everyone else a little bit of margin.
Cut out the middleman.
Cut out the middleman, so we want to go directly to the customer and give them the best deal. We think the best way to do that is online with TikTok, Amazon, and our website. They're the 3 platforms we're going to be on, I think, yeah. We don't want to go down the route of Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising, as you know, everybody knows, Facebook's one of the biggest businesses in the world. That's because everyone pays them a shit ton of money to advertise their product. So if we were to put this on Facebook and try and pay for advertising, our cost would be about £60 to get this in front of a customer.
That is quite a lot of money.
Just to get that first purchase, you mean?
Just to get that first purchase. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Is that
Every single customer.
Every single
That would be the
customer.
minimum cost for us to spend, roughly.
And what's that called? Do you call that a cost of acquisition?
Yeah, cost of acquisition, yeah.
COA.
We're trying to run this business in an efficient way. We don't want to be spending thousands and tens of thousands of pounds of trying to acquire customers. So our method is we want to speak to people directly. So we're going to use social media. We're going to try and partner with podcasts. We're going to be sponsoring a podcast. Because these people, like, you've got to think, like, people, there's so many people who don't know yet that this will benefit them, and we can't afford to reach them yet. So hopefully we can use word of mouth. So we're going to be giving incentive for customers. So if you refer a friend, so if you're buying this, you refer a friend, you both get £5 off. So you get £5 off your deal, and your friend gets £5 off their first order as well.
Sweet.
We've got an affiliate scheme, so anyone who's trying to grow a social media presence, we can give them commissions if they recommend our product. And then we're also going to be sponsoring other podcasts and speaking with as many people as we can. Just trying to find like different avenues where we can get in front of people who are kind of already on their journey of learning about more fresh food. Was that 25% of people, 27% of people are feeding fresh or raw food at the moment in the UK?
Is it? And
Yeah.
is that updated?
Yeah,
Last
that's right.
minute, I think it's about 19, 20.
Yeah, I think it's gone up to like 25, 26 last time I looked.
So that's good, so it's growing.
It's growing.
Yeah.
This-
Word's getting out.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of people still not doing that. So our goal is to see how we can get to those 25 people and then encourage them to then share it. Because you don't necessarily trust a company, but you trust your friend. You trust a friend who's had a good experience or something. So we want to try and work that as our business model.
And it's a lot easier to like add something onto what you're already feeding than it is to change the whole meal, which I think makes people quite nervous.
Yeah. With the whole changing of the food, like, ironically, people worry about changing their diet, like changing their dog's diet from the same thing all the time to something different. Whereas, like, I'm pretty sure if people we were eating the same thing each day, we'd be pretty sick of it. Ironically, it doesn't make any sense to
You'd be
me.
pretty sick, full stop, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd be pretty sick, and that's a big problem. Like, you then look at the vets. Like, vets visits have tripled in the last 10 years. Tripled.
That's crazy.
3 times the amount of dogs are going to vets than 10 years ago. And all this food's supposed to be improving.
Is that based on like
Visits.
how many dogs there are though? Because there's a lot more.
The dogs haven't
10 years
tripled,
ago.
so it's doubled maybe for the dogs. But that's still so that's also the 50% increase in vet visits.
Wow.
Obesity, 50% of dogs are now obese. That's because they're getting fed too much and of the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Dogs are more anxious than ever. I think 75% of people said their dogs are anxious.
Yeah.
There's lots of different factors in that as well, but I mean, if you give a child a Mars bar and then it starts running around afterwards, that's a pretty 1 + 1 = 2 situation. It's not dissimilar for dogs. Like, they're much smaller, their body is smaller, and their tolerance to sugars and stuff and the bad food is different. So if you have a hyperactive dog and you're feeding it dentist sticks and kibble, I mean, maybe check that.
Yeah. I mean, suppose when you look back into where they originate from, what they're supposed to be fed, they're never supposed to be fed processed.
No.
Kibbles, like, they're meant to go out and forage, kill their meat, and then pick berries off the bushes, eat grass, that kind of thing. Like, everyone always worries that, why does my dog eat grass? Most times they like eating grass.
It's nice and
There's
sweet
nothing
in the
wrong.
spring, so they love it. It's like a new shoot.
Yeah.
It's actually really good for them and it's full of fibre.
And
It's made sense to their tummy a little bit as well, isn't it?
you're exactly right in saying the dog would go and pick a berry.
Yeah.
They're foraging for their own ingredients, which is why we don't use hugely commercial ingredients in here. It's like the traditional ingredients, we're trying to avoid those and finding things that actually would be foraged, because that's what dogs would naturally eat. So rather than commercially growing vegetables, which would be like carrots, I don't know, potatoes, cauliflowers, I don't know what else, peppers, broccoli, they're really common vegetables, tomatoes. If you
It's a fruit.
It's fruit. It's not hard. If you look at those ingredients, they're grown for commercial use for people. The shape of those isn't what the shape of they should be. If you grow something in the wild, it'll be like all wonky and a funny shape and with perhaps a different taste.
Yeah.
Like, these ingredients have been so commercially derived to be this perfect shape of a pepper, which has zero flavour, versus something which is grown in the wild, would be a different shape and full of flavour. And that's the same process. So we're trying not to have any massive products and ingredients in there as well, because that's what wouldn't be found in the wild naturally.
Yeah. I mean, technically, could humans eat this too?
Yeah, it tastes like spirulina. My mum used to give me spirulina. It'd be great in a smoothie. Yeah, I have nightmares about spirulina. I think my mum used to make me have that like in water.
Oh.
Yeah, just mix it into water and then have to do a shot of it when I was younger.
I mean, to be fair, full of iron.
It's great for me, but
Really
yeah.
good
But
taste.
dogs like the taste.
Yeah.
And some people like the taste, but just not me. But you can eat that, yeah. Everything's human grade, so it's all UK factory, human grade ingredients. It's all good enough for us.
Perfect. Share with your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you eat that, you'd be healthier.
Is it similar then to supplements in the human market?
Yeah, it's funny you should ask that. So we've kind of modelled ourselves off an AG1 as well. So AG1 has like 70 something different ingredients in there.
Whoa.
Theirs is really expensive. There's about £100 a packet for a month, which is quite a lot. AG1 don't use Whole Foods, nor do Huel, nor do, what's the other one on TikTok called? Something greens. There's a few different greens brands.
Like super greens. Or
Real,
something,
Be
isn't
Real.
it? Real. Oh yeah, Be Real.
Yeah.
Something.
They're not all pure Whole Foods. So they all have synthetic ingredients in there as well. So there's no like, you look on the back of the hair, you won't see vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, you won't see all of that because naturally those ingredients contain that. On a website there's a breakdown of which vitamins are derived from each ingredient, but you won't see that breakdown of synthetic ingredients. I haven't tried AG1, but I need to be trying this to see what the difference I feel from having that is.
Mm-hmm.
I eat quite a varied diet of different greens and lots of meat, and I've noticed the difference of changing my diet from less processed food. Like if I have pasta or too much bread now, I'll have stomach pains.
Yeah.
And if I'm just eating pure meat and vegetables, I won't. So it's interesting change. But yeah, so what we wanted to do was actually make this in a similar format so it relates to those people who are having those things, because if you understand the benefits of it yourself, you'll understand that actually I can give this to my dog and then my dog will feel the benefits. So kind of that's our marketing angle, rather than trying to make like a tail wag on it or a fun, cute dog on it. So we really wanted to relate to people. So I mean, you could think that could be a person, human product.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to put this here, just a little plug just there if you guys want to look at it. If you're listening, it's a green packet. It's got a big D33 on it, all in one supplement, dog supplement, 33 Whole Foods. It's just there. Shameless.
Practice that.
Was that a placement?
The placement, the reading it out. Like, I can imagine use. Gotta say it perfect.
Okay. No, I'd much prefer the word D33 now. I think it feels better. Thank you.
It's catchy.
Yeah, and it's different, and it feels. The other dilemma is the sciencey element on it. Like we don't want to be doing the same thing as the science food as what vets do. Like we're not science, we're nature. Like we're a natural product. We're not some scientific product created in a lab. Like we're stuff you find in the wild, and we've combined this as a whole food, and that's what we're trying to relate those two things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
See-
not worried about the lab synthetic anything. You're actually just eat whole food. Be healthy.
Logical.
Yeah.
It's what we did 100 years ago, and you look at human problems, they've gone up through the roof as well.
So you think you're not going to go for like vet?
No, we're proud to say we're not vet approved.
Where do you see D33 kind of 5 and 10 years down the line? Like, is your goal that you hope every single dog in the world would have it?
I hope every single person has heard of it. I hope everyone who can takes it for their dog. Everyone who can't changes their dog's lifestyle or their diet and gives them something more. That's what would be the best case scenario. As long as more dogs are eating more fresh food, that's the mission achieved. I kind of see this as a symbol of what I'd like the industry to change to, and also for people as well. I think that, ironically, the other secondary benefit of this is if we give our dog this ingredient and the human can relate to, like, oh my god, my dog's getting camu, it's getting babao, it's getting blueberries, it's getting all these different things, like, maybe I should be having that. Like, if people started eating healthier, the NHS would bloom. It wouldn't be under so much pressure anymore. It'd be a huge boost there. Yeah. Obesity would disappear as much. Heart disease would disappear. Like, all of these secondary benefits could happen. So I kind of see it as like obviously I want it to grow as a business as well, but like if it can help educate people to feed their dog better, and then it educates people to feed themselves better, those are two huge wins, and that's a really cool bonus. And that kind of gives us more of a mission to do. But at the same time, this is a really convenient way of doing it.
Yeah.
And that's important because we are all busy. But let's start to...
Yeah, and obviously we've already touched on it, that most things are done for convenience.
Yeah. Which is... It has to be convenient because people are so busy.
Yeah.
They don't need to be so busy. It's a whole nother story. But yeah, it helps. And I think making it convenient and then educating people as well. And in a positive way. We're not shunning anybody for doing anything wrong because they've got £1 billion companies marketing against them. It's like social media making social media so addictive to be stay on there for so long. It's the same marketing principle there. Like, we want to help educate people in the nicest possible way. Like, you can just do a tiny bit. If you don't want to go for this, absolutely great, but just give your dog some extra stuff, fresh food. Once a week, start doing that. That'd be really good.
Also, most kitchens have Alexas in, and my favourite thing to ask Alexa is like, I'm going through herbs. This is herb safe for dogs. So easy. You can just go through and be like, Alexa, is this right?
Does she tell you the right information?
Yeah, that's what I wonder.
Well, most of the time, yeah. Just don't listen to her about garlic.
Does she say garlic's bad?
I actually haven't asked. Cause
Ask, do you know why she would say no?
Why would she say no?
It's like the top 10 best-selling products of pet products are the companies that spot say that garlic are bad. Well, maybe that's really deep, I don't know. But probably. Could
It
work.
would be interesting to know what she would say.
We don't have an Alexa. That scares me.
We used to have Alexa.
Yeah. But then we start like just talking randomly, start seeing adverts.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I didn't like how much she listened.
No.
It's not nice.
It's when she randomly goes off and everyone's being quiet and I get really freaked out then. Yeah.
Alright, I've got a question for you guys. This product, how do you think it would sell in the shop? And would you recommend it to grooming customers?
Yes. I would.
My boss.
I think it's really hard. So
What's your view on it? Yeah.
in the shop, I don't really have any supplements.
Because your partner's launching this.
Yeah, but that's not why. Even before that, I never had any.
Yeah.
And there have been a lot out there, and that's mostly because I hate joint supplements, calming supplements. I hate like these treats which have fuck all in them to actually help with the end goal that you're looking for, that then brand themselves that they will just fix one problem.
Yeah.
It really annoys me, and so I just thought, I don't want a range of like 5 or 6 different things that I need to recommend to people for each thing that's going to cost them an arm and a leg. I just don't get it. For me, I don't get it. So like, I think Chewy is a really big one in America, or what's it called?
Zesty
The
Paws.
orange one.
Zesty Paws.
Zesty Paws,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's the multivitamin.
It's a multivitamin, but it's a treat. It is literally a shit treat with a little bit of stuff in it.
I think it's potato starch is the main ingredient.
Yeah, to make it sound like it's got good stuff.
And it's like 0.00% of something in there, functional.
So you'd have to give your dog the entire packet to make a difference?
I don't think you'd make a difference.
Or just not make a difference?
No.
You
But-
just get lulled
But
into
then, does it make a difference? Because a lot of people will give their dogs like U-Move and...
Yeah. You move's big one we hear about a lot.
Well, the vets can sell U-Move now.
They promote it, yeah.
Yeah.
Lintels is the company that
Lint
owns Lintels is the company that owns UMove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UMove is good. The main functional ingredient in that is green lint mussel, which is very beneficial.
Yeah.
But strip out everything else and just leave the green lint mussel. You don't need that other stuff.
I think your...
Or glucosamine, but then it's a highly processed ingredient as well.
Well, I'm wondering if your bamboo silica thing that you said was actually is better than glucosamine.
There hasn't been any science to show it,
Yeah.
unfortunately, because bamboo's an incredibly quick growing product. It's probably better. So glucosamine is derived from krill. It's extracted out of krill. So if you just feed shrimp on top of your dog's food, way better, because it's a highly processed ingredient, which is less digestible. So that's the other thing. Whole foods digest and are absorbed in a superior way than synthetic ingredients do. That's why they say like, oh, if you take loads of vitamins, you'll just piss them out.
Well, it's true, because when I
You
have
are.
vitamin C ones,
Yeah.
your pee is neon.
Yeah.
You have to warn
That's
people
just
if they
the-
have one.
that's the-
Yeah.
Colouring.
The synthetic, that's the synthetic
Isn't it?
vitamins leaving your body because your body can't absorb them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you eat something like a lot of lemons, the lemons are way higher in vitamin C, like the lemon zest is really high in vitamin C compared to an orange. You're not going to be peeing fluorescent yellow from that. You're absorbing that into your body and you'll feel the difference. That's why they say, like, if you've got a cold, like, have some honey and some lemon, like the pure natural stuff, and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
Because your body absorbs those really well, and it can help fight off those infections. It's the same process.
And yeah, I think people just don't.
It's, again, marketing.
And you just don't want to think it's that easy and that simple.
I think if you look at, that sounds really cynical, but like if you look at anything and look at where the money trail follows, that's your answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if a company is incredibly profitable, and they're creating this product, what the motivation is there?
Yeah.
Is it profit the motivation, or is it curing people and helping people? So,
Which way around?
yeah, which way around is it? Like you can see if they're making billions and billions in profit, I mean that's a pretty big swayer. They've got like investors and shareholders to answer to.
Well, and let's touch on that actually, because that's one of the things that you and Mike have looked at. So obviously Mike's come on as your 50-50 and you're in this together. But you've also been doing a lot of research into, okay, if this does become, a great supplement, a great product, and lots of people start buying it, and you've got lots of people on subscription.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that makes great business, right? And
Yeah.
that makes great business that people want to invest in.
Yeah.
But you've heard some quite scary stories about taking investment and what those people then expect from a company that is essentially just two people believing in, feeding dogs better.
Yeah. So I probably won't say their names or who their investors are because I don't know if they share that with me in confidence or not, because they probably fuck them over. Two companies, one pet, one not pet. The pet one, they went to valuation of about 100 million, basically the same product. Their investors, the first raise, they raised about £10 million at a £50 million valuation, so they raised quite a lot of money to grow the business. Their investors then said, look, you've got to create a food and you've got to step away from the supplement because the food market's growing. This is what you've got to focus on. So they had a really good supplement product. It was all whole foods, a variety, very similar to this. Obviously not as good as ours, but because we had all whole foods, they had like fish and meats in there as well, which actually need to be refrigerated, which is really interesting. But their investors came and warned, like, oh no, the food space is growing, you need to focus more on that. And then they went up to 100 million valuation. They had to then be tied in and say, for example, if they got to 100 million valuation, their investors would not let them sell or leave the business until they got to, say, 300 or 400 million investment, like portfolio size. Same with the other company. Human Product, he raised £4 million at a 30 million valuation. He's now not allowed to leave that company until that company is worth 100 million. Growing from a 30 million pound business to a 100 million pound business valuation. So as example, 30 million pound business revenue is about 15 million. So he's got to triple his revenue to 45 per year to 45 million to be able to leave the company. And then these VCs will be like, well, you've got to hire more. You've got to spend more of this money. So they're giving you all this cash. You then got to spend it without seeing a return. But like on a business principle, okay, great. I've got all this money to spend. But you're then spending and losing, say, 200 grand a month. Just to grow. Similar thing happens with Mike. He had investors come in. They said they were going to invest. I don't know how exactly. I can't remember exactly. But essentially the investors said, yeah, we're going to invest. And then that never happened. They encouraged them to spend more money at a loss to grow the business.
In the hope they were getting the money.
Yeah. And that didn't happen in the end.
And these aren't just one person coming in and going, I've got a pot of cash and I'm really passionate about you and believe in you.
This might be an investment, a VC company, so a venture capital company, coming in, investing a couple of million, and then you get some spotty 20-year-old coming in and say, you got to do this and this and that. Not against young people.
No.
But they have never founded their company. They've never grown a business to the stage to be able to get this investment. They don't know the market as well as the founder. So getting a VC investment in is the traditional common way that people grow really big businesses. We really don't want to do that, which is why we're not doing Meta. If we did Meta, we'd have to have like a 6-month runway to get that money back. Whereas if we grow organically and slower and in different ways, actually we can make sure that we maintain our principles and actually maintain what our vision is rather than just being influenced by money.
Yeah, you stay in control.
Yeah, which is hard because once you get an investment company in, you're out of control. they have as much say as you do, and that just loses control, and they don't have the same morals. They've got their 3-year window where they've got to triple the business, however they have to.
Well, yeah, there's the shortcuts, aren't there?
Yeah.
That's when they'd go, right, well, let's not get freeze dried, let's get, I don't know, some sort of...
Yeah, let's get some
Concentrate.
synthetic things in there.
Let's start adding those vitamins.
The bamboo silica, let's reduce that, that's expensive.
Yeah.
So there's ways you can change that, but what we really want to do is actually grow this. We need to grow this business to be able to make money. I'm not sitting here saying I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this for a purpose, but also I'm doing this for a purpose to make a difference as well. And that hopefully those two go hand in hand, and that's a good motivation to make it worthwhile for both of us, essentially. Because I think it can make a difference, and I think if more people fed their dogs better food, there'd be less problems, and if people be happier because their dogs are happier, healthier dogs.
I guess you're always just pulling the money from one side to another. Like, you're pulling money from the vets and Nestle Mars at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be taking it away from them.
Yeah.
But it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So is the world ready for it to go somewhere else?
I hope so.
Like, is there enough meat? Is there enough veggies and stuff
you look at that
for everyone to eat?
That's interesting. So you look at the meat, the amount of meat, raw food, you feed your dog in comparison to fresh food or kibble, is a far lower percentage. Like, we feed Nairobi 250 grams per meal. Well, it's even less than like 240, 230 per meal. Whereas our kibble, there'd be double that to get the same amount of food, and then it's just more wastage. So actually we're using less ingredients from there. And if we can use British suppliers and boost British ingredients further, it's even better.
Yeah. It all goes hand in hand,
Yeah.
doesn't it? When you think more into it, actually everyone's like, oh, what about all these animals that are being massively killed? Well, actually, if you push more free-range organic meat, and then you have the massive dog industry that actually goes into it, so like say Brett's going around the abattoirs trying to get the cheapest cuts here and there, you're then raising awareness for animals to be treated better, nicer. It just all goes round.
Hand in hand.
But interesting, you could argue that though. So like whiskey distilleries, their waste product of their barley goes into dog food. So you could say, oh well, actually it's being used. So, I mean, we wouldn't say, well, that's really bad. I don't know how I answer that myself either. But it is really bad. Like, the waste product is... So, the Oban whiskey distillery tour that we went on, all their waste product from the mulching, it's called mulching? I can't remember what it's called. The first process is left with huge amounts of waste product from the barley, which has been malted maybe. And they take all the liquid out of there, which is then liquid goes off to make whiskey. But then the rest of that shit goes to feed dogs.
And farms.
And farms.
Farm animals, yeah.
So you could argue, oh, actually it's being reused more, but if you didn't need to grow so much grain and crops for the kibble, there's more space for better biodiversity rather than just mass farming.
Yeah.
And what is it called? NGA? No, MGA. Modified GMOs. GMO crops and stuff to produce that. You don't need that necessarily because you've got more. This then comes into the whole vegan meat debate as well, I guess, to an extent.
But one cow can feed
1,000 people?
Yeah, or, I mean, you for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you store it properly.
Yeah.
You're not eating so much as well.
No, you get
A lot
fuller
quicker.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting. I'm very excited to start launching it. It's been a long time in the process. And I think a lot of years building up to that. But I think it feels like the right product at the right time, and I'm very excited to launch it. And hopefully it does some good. I've noticed the good from Nairobi, and I'm happy. That makes me happier to share with everyone. Because I actually have seen the benefit.
And she loves the taste.
She does love taste, yeah.
Is a big thing. Like,
Yeah.
she actually eats it from her bowl.
She likes it, yeah. And most dogs do. Like, if you put dip your finger into it, and give it, your dog will eat it. Whereas most supplements, that won't happen.
No, Riley's very dramatic. If I like change anything, like, you know the breath foam upstairs, put that in his mouth earlier, shook his head, like looked like I'd literally just poisoned him. And he does the same. Like, I've tried to give him a wormer in the past. Like, he literally will foam at the mouth, shove his head around, go, no, don't do it. But the D33 eats it straight away. Like, literally doesn't use it.
Yeah.
I think dogs know what's good for them. They know.
I've
not
always
stupid.
wondered that, like when people come in and they're like, oh, I need something to trick my dog into eating this pill, and I'm like,
Just don't give you a pill.
yeah. Like, maybe it's a painkiller, but even then, like, you know you're doing something good.
Yeah. And you can really, this sounds horrible as well, you can really see the difference between a healthy dog and a non-healthy dog.
Yeah.
They're lethargic, they're slower, their eyes are droopy, and
Skin's horrible.
yeah, when you really see this more.
Patches everywhere.
Yeah.
We were talking about the other day, weren't we? Like, you really can see the difference between healthy and unhealthy dogs. Like, whether it's just the texture of their coats. Unhealthy dogs tend to get more ear infections, eye infections, tear staining, they lick their paws more, seasonal allergies affect them more, itchy, like the list just goes on. And you're right about the whole vet thing where appointments have tripled. In the time that I've been grooming, I swear every year double the amount of dogs start to have skin issues, and nothing's changed. Like,
there's more shit food.
There's more shit food, there's more processed food, there's more extreme fertilizers and other things going on the field. And it all goes hand in hand. If we just cut the processing out, it would be really interesting to do a proper study of dogs that already have these ailments. If you change half of their diet to really see a difference, I think the results would be quite
obvious. Yeah.
Would you do that?
What's that?
A study?
Yeah.
Like, do you think you could rope in like 20 people?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, we've known enough dogs to do that.
Yeah.
We can supply dogs for that for a period of time, see if they notice any difference.
It'd be so cool.
Yeah, and we could do our own studies. Like, we don't need to do it in a lab. We can just do our own studies and figure that stuff out ourselves because it's logical.
Do you have a nutritionist on your team?
We're working on one. We've spoken to nutritionists. I think there's a lot of information out there. So there's no this is interesting. There's not technically a board of certification of a nutritionist. That doesn't exist. You can go to any single company and get a nutritional course, and you can buy them. We've spoken to a nutritionist, and he bought a course for 3 days, and he said it's the biggest waste of money he's ever done.
Cam.
So
Cam.
you should just get
The dog nutritionist.
Dog nutritionist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've done so much research myself. I think I'd be pretty happy to be challenged on most ingredients within that. General dog health. There's so much information available online which we've studied. We use a lot of AI for research. We have had it checked with nutritionists. They love the recipe in there. But I think it's really tricky because this is something so different and so new. The research of combining all those things hasn't been studied, and that's something we really need to look into further. But if you step back from it and just look, this is all stuff that grows from the ground, that's been around for thousands of years, versus something that's been created in a lab with chemicals and salts and sugars. Use your brain.
Yeah.
No?
I hate using my brain.
But it's logical. If something's logical and simple, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be complicated. We're not trying to hide ingredients. There's the other thing, like if you look at the ingredients, so analytical I can't even say it. Analytical, can you say it?
Analytical constituents.
Whatever that means. So with pet labelling, you have to put down crude protein. What do you think crude protein means?
Processed. Crude means like bottom of the bucket, doesn't it?
I know what you have to do to the product to get those.
Don't say that, yeah.
So,
crude fat, crude fibre, crude ash. That's the legal stuff you need to put on a product.
A pet product.
I don't understand what it means. I don't know anybody who understands what it means. It makes no sense. And it doesn't even tell you a milligram, it tells you a percentage. Crude ash, 8.9%. What does that mean?
It would be much nicer if it was similar to human food.
Absolutely.
In that you could see how much sugar's in it,
Yeah.
how much fat, how much. What's the other thing they show? Calories. Stuff like that. Because then it's comparable. You can at least kind of. I know.
God, imagine if that was in the back of Royal Canin though. That'd screw them over, wouldn't it? Because they just say like fat, sugar,
they would just say
salt.
A fuck ton of sugar.
Exactly, which is probably why it doesn't happen. What we like to do. So that's one thing. So the labelling is really confusing. Furthermore, the minerals and additives don't need to be added to the products as the ingredients list. So you can add oils and minerals to an ingredients list and not have to declare it within the pet industry. So you could be buying something, and there could be additives in there which you can't see, which aren't put on the label.
So if your dog does have some sort of allergy to something,
Yeah, they're not common allergies, but they're just like
or
sneaky
intolerance
oils or
Could
sneaky.
be peanut oil.
No, they have to put allergies in there. They'll definitely be putting allergies on there, but there's certain minerals, oils, and I can't remember what the other one is. Things which you're allowed to add into the product, but not to put on the label.
So if it doesn't,
use anything to bulk it.
if it doesn't add up to 100%,
Also, they have to put a percentage on there.
you worry.
So you don't have to put the percentage on there. So what you'll find is lots of pet companies will put, let's say there's 30% of meat derivatives, which you can say, which isn't real meat anyway. So that's burnt meat, powdered bones, feathers, nails, all that jazz. Have you spoken about what Canon and Pedigree do to go throughout Europe? So it can be derivatives of 30%. The next ingredient would have to be 29.99%. But that could be pea protein, which they don't have to put its percentage down, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And they may put up something else on like 4% further down the line, which means all these other ingredients which they're not labelling. Why are they not labelling the percentages on there and the ingredient quality? Kind of weird, I think. Just be open and honest, right? If they've got nothing to hide, why would you hide anything? Like, you can educate the customer as much as possible.
How do you think they feel at the moment?
I don't think
they
anyone
feel
feels bad.
pressure?
No, I don't think anyone feels bad at all.
Not bad, but do you think they feel a bit of pressure from the market? Or
Yeah, they'll keep buying the companies. They'll keep buying whatever the market dictates.
Yeah.
I think Royal Canin already bought a fresh food company recently, actually, which is a big sign. But that's what their model will be. Their model will be to acquire all these different brands as the market shifts, because they can't do it themselves. They've got established brands. If the market changes, they'll just buy a business within that. Which is good. If they buy a fresh food brand, that'd be great. To push it further.
More pushing.
I mean, Butterbox is a perfect example of that. They've led the way with fresh food.
They have. The only issue as a groomer I have with the fresh foods, like butternut box or different dog, I think they're great, but they do nothing for dog's teeth.
so bad.
Like the
That's
amount of
interesting.
dogs, like, I mean, kibble is not good for dog's teeth. It's not. Everyone thinks it's hard as it chips stuff off. It's shit. It really is. But butternut box, while nutritionally fantastic, great, cooked.
Not the best. Not the best.
Not the best. You know, there is better stuff out there. Cook it yourselves. You know, there is nothing that benefits plaque or tartar buildup on teeth or prevents it, which I find really irritating.
It's a bit like wet food, isn't it?
There's seaweed powder in there, kelp.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That will.
Thank God.
But it is like a wet
It's like a lot of
food
things.
additive that just coats teeth.
The oils in the wet food,
Yeah,
especially.
and also I think with butternut box they use a lot of lentils, which dogs can't digest.
No.
So
What do you see as
it's
the
great, but
the
not
biggest
best.
health concerns? Would you say, like, the most obvious health issue that you see derived from food? Is it teeth? Is it joints? Is it skin? Is it, what do you think it is?
Teeth is probably a big thing.
Or short lives?
Yeah.
Short lives and obesity.
Obesity. Do you think that's because they're fed too many treats, or because of the food?
I think it's a whole thing. I think it's the whole education of, if you're going to consistently give your dog treats throughout the day, give them smaller meals. But also, if you're feeding them processed foods, don't feed them as much, because it's all water weight. Like, you don't add water in to kibble, which not many people do, because if you just give your dog dry kibble, when it goes into their stomach, these things like inflate by like 3-4 times the amount. So you're thinking, oh, just give my dog this little cup. Once it's in the stomach, it's 3 times that volume. So if you've got a big dog, you give them a massive cup, that inflates. But with that, you then have the added risk of bloat, which can come on if you exercise your dog pretty quickly after feeding them, or you exercise them pretty heavily and then feed them. It's like twisting of the stomach. It's fatal. Like, not
it's
many
really
dogs
bad.
survive from it.
It doesn't happen if you feed raw.
The bloat twist.
Because it's so much easier digested, there's no water weight, there's no bloating of the food. Like, your dogs are just running on what they should be. Your dog shouldn't be getting bloat, but that is, I mean, especially if you have a large breed, it's such a high risk, and people just don't really know about it. It's not talked about, but it's serious, and it's terrifying.
So that, I think behaviour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good chat.
obesity behaviour?
You can kind of tell it all, and just by looking, really.
At the dog?
Yeah.
Most dogs that you see, this is tricky because all the dogs that come, well, the majority of dogs that come in here as customers being fed good stuff. See where's good stuff works. But they are being fed better generally if they're coming in here. That's what we push, right?
Yeah.
But you do notice, would you say that most dogs you do see have issues? I'd say most dogs I see have issues.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why?
Weird humans.
They should be taking D33 as well.
No, I think most dogs have issues. Routine is a big thing, I think.
But too much routine.
Too much routine, yeah.
But I was saying before the podcast started, I think dogs, for the heat example recently, people worry about stuff a lot more now. I think because people worry about things more issues occur.
Yeah.
Like I remember growing up, my dog's never overheated or got heat stroke, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I've got to get a cooling mat out.
Yeah, I think also people faff around their dog, like...
Which makes them anxious.
Which makes them anxious, which makes them hotter. Like, if it's a hot day, your dog knows what to do. It's probably going to go and stretch out on a cool tiled floor or somewhere cool. Like, it's instinct. It knows what to do. And nobody's really out, like, doing excessive walks. I think that's just social media because people can get traction from sharing those things. I actually hate the whole thing around hot days and dogs. It really annoys me, mostly because when you go to a hot country and there's stray dogs or dogs live there, they're fucking fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just find
fine.
They just lay down. They're not running around. They're not being walked around.
They're just not like. Don't throw a ball for your dog on a hot day.
Yeah.
Duh, but that's obvious. Like, don't do that any day. To be honest, like just treat them normally.
Yeah.
You know, do what you were going to do that day. If you feel a bit lethargic, then just take for granted that your dog might feel that way too.
Yeah.
But saying, oh, you can't take your dog out if it's 25 degrees, I'm sorry, bullshit. Because you can.
Yeah.
You just don't stick to the shade.
Yeah.
Also, everyone has different circumstances. You know, if you live in a flat and you have a dog, your dog needs to pee or poo.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to have to go out. Just have common sense.
Yeah. It's silly that people like berate others for going out in 25 degree heat. I mean, I've seen dogs, they literally lie in the sun. Ruby lay in the sun today, out of choice. I didn't force her. She went outside and she lay outside for 20 minutes. Then she went outside again and just stood there sniffing the air in the sun.
Yeah.
That's what she likes to do.
She likes to do that.
Yeah.
She wants to do that. She's okay, I think.
They also like to ground, don't they? They like to
Yeah.
be close to the earth. They like to be outside. It's good for them. It's calming. Vitamin D is great for everyone. And, you know, she'll get up and she goes, fucking hell, I'm boiling.
Yeah.
I'm going to go inside in the shade.
Have a drink,
does it. Yeah,
Easy.
have a drink, cool down, then I'll go back out when I'm...
Yeah,
You
we'll
know.
do it again. Because A, what else is there to do? And B, you know, it's nice being in the sun. It's good for everyone to be in the sun. Don't remove that from your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he's something on social media.
Yeah, I really don't like. When you messaged me this morning, I was like,
I didn't think it was a bit risky.
you can say that easy.
No, it's different because like upstairs working, it's got to be. It does get humid and stuff upstairs, and that's why we have aircon for you and the dogs as well. Like it's a nicer environment. It's just cooler.
Yeah.
You don't want to be working in the sun.
Well, also it's using common sense.
Yeah.
If it's 30 degrees outside and we've got a room with no AC and we've got the dryers on to spike up them cold, it's going to be 5 degrees hotter. And at that point, we have to say, look, we have to close the doors. It's too hot. We're using common sense.
Yeah.
It is too hot. You know, we're not going to ram it on in a 35-degree room and go, here you are, you'll be fine. You're not.
It's just common sense.
Yeah. So, I don't know how we got there, but we did.
Social media influencing what people's thoughts are and things.
I think that is a big thing. And I see, you know, a lot of the people are calm. If you're calm around your dog, I feel like energy is a very big thing. So that's what your dog feeds off most of the time.
Yeah.
Just be chill. I know that's quite a hard thing for a lot of people to do, but don't get worked up over the small things. Don't berate your dog for just doing shit. Like Roby ate her food 2 nights in a row. Not really that annoyed about it.
She stole her food.
Yeah, it's not a big issue.
We feed her every day.
Yeah. We left it out to defrost in the sun and she ate the whole thing. Okay, that's fine.
It made her happy.
Yeah, but I'm not going to tell her off for it. I just need to not leave it where I left it. It's my fault ultimately, and just be chill.
Your dog will pick up on that as well.
Yeah, and then your dog is pretty calm.
Yeah.
You don't want them scared of you.
And also that helps.
That helps massively. I mean, that really has helped with her.
Yeah.
Out and about with other dogs.
She's definitely more chill.
Which is amazing because you guys have been to trainers, you take treats with you, like you have done so much to try and desensitize Robes to like being a pain shop when other dogs come in, and it is amazing that you've done all that and then you've just given her this for a couple of months.
Yeah.
You kept everything the same and you've really started to notice difference. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, even today she was in the shop and she said hi to I think 3 other dogs in the shop, which usually she would just bark at them.
Yeah.
And she was actually fine.
It's really good.
That's
great.
So it is a crazy difference, but it makes sense.
Difference.
But you notice the difference by having that lion's bin up there as well each day.
Yeah.
Like your stress or anxiety.
Helps a lot.
CBD.
Helps you deal with bad situations better.
Yeah. And that's what these things are there to help you do, and it eventually becomes a habit, and you then create a habit of that goodness with assistance, and it makes you better. Same for the dogs.
Well, hopefully
So
people take it.
this is going to be available. There's going to be a little affiliate link down at the bottom for you guys, isn't there?
Yes, we will put a link in the podcast. Hopefully you'll have already been selling because this will come out next week.
How does it feel to have your first sponsor?
pretty cool.
It's a pretty big deal.
That is pretty
D33.
You get a free spoon.
Yeah.
What was your whole spoon saga, by the way? I saw like two of your videos.
Spoon saga.
I was waiting for the
So this is the other thing. So creating social media, people just want to see really honest stuff.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, look at my life, it's so great. Actually, if you show your really shit moments, I think people appreciate that more.
It's human.
It's human. So just be more human, and because people are missing. Oh, this is a whole other story. People are missing more human interactions now. Definitely. So many people say, I don't know how to phrase it.
We're trapped on our phones, aren't we?
Yeah,
We've got all these
massively.
phones, but we don't see anyone.
Yeah, which is a huge issue. So if we can make social media which relates just to actually the day-to-day stuff of what we do and really document that, that's my social media strategy, I think. It's really hard to do. I tried to shower, got you to try and video showering, washing my hair or something just in the morning, it's my day in the life. I was like, oh, it fucking looks ridiculous. So I didn't post that. But that's the kind of concept, I'm just doing normal stuff and I'm honestly just trying to my idea is I'm trying to build this business to help people, and the process of sometimes I sit there in front of my laptop and I just don't know what to do. All these things to do, I was I don't know which one to start with. It's really hard to do it, and that's a real thing. And I think most people have those issues, but I think no one ever really confesses to that. It's oh fuck, how am I supposed to sell this to all these people?
Yeah.
That's a real issue.
It is, isn't it? You almost get paralysed.
Yeah.
Fuck, what do I do?
Yeah, and you see
your brain spirals, and you're just there after an hour, I've done nothing.
Yeah.
Just
I
staring
don't
at the
feel
wall.
any better.
Yeah.
I did that for a very long time today at the warehouse.
But it's a real issue. So yeah, so the idea socially is to do that. What was the point? Coming back to you, sorry. I might have ADHD.
You showed your spoon.
Oh, the spoons. So the spoon saga. So spoon saga is we ordered some spoons. Initially we wanted to have. See, this is even stuff I don't normally wouldn't share this. We wanted to have bamboo spoons.
Makes sense with your bamboo set.
Bamboo spoons is what we wanted, but bamboo spoons are limited in size. So you can't have a bamboo spoon because it doesn't come in the right size, because bamboo is limiting to be this size. You can't just create a bamboo spoon because it's going to be the wrong size. So you can't have bamboo spoons. So we ordered some samples of different spoons. I picked one which wasn't bamboo. It's another highly quick growing wood, which is really important. We didn't want to do metal because one, it costs too much and it's heavy, So we wanted to find another really eco-friendly wood, which grows very quickly and it can be replaced. So it's good for the environment. It's not cutting down loads of trees, but it's a quick-growing tree. That's the idea for a spoon. So these things I actually do think about. The spoon I ordered is the right size. It's quite hard to actually get the weight and dimensions and like the measurement of the spoon correct. But I found one. This is the spoon I ordered. I gave them my logo and everything. So yep, this is what I want. I want customized spoons. So it has D33 on it. And then they sent them and they arrived and didn't have any logos on them. I was like, that's a bit odd. It's not what I ordered. So I went back to them. I was like, where's my logo? It's like, we don't know.
No.
I was like, well, I ordered these spoons and these spoons haven't arrived. Oh yes, sir. We forgot to print the spoons for you. I was like, huh. I was like, well, we can give you some discounts. It's like, no. I wanted the spoons with the logos on. That's the whole point of the customized spoon. Well, we can give you a discount. I was like, no, please can I reorder these spoons? Like, oh, we forgot to do it, but we'll do it for you. I was like, okay.
Are you going to send them back? Is
No.
at any point?
There's no point.
So you're just going to have unmarked spoons?
Yeah.
Marked spoons?
Yeah.
Could you
And it's
have
lucky that
D33 in the other one?
if you get a spoon without a D33 on it, count yourself lucky because they're limited edition.
It will never happen
No,
again.
we're going to keep those spoons for Amazon customers.
Oh.
I know. So
Poor Amazon customers.
you should buy directly from us instead of Amazon. That's my motto. So if you want a customized spoon, www.d33.dog. If you don't want a customized spoon, go to Amazon, which you can't because another thing, we can't get listed on Amazon.
You just said you're going to sell on Amazon now.
Well, ironically, I spent 5 years running an Amazon business, and it's changed so much. It's so hard to understand the new Amazon process. I don't know how anybody can start a new business and go to Amazon. I've got quite a bit of experience in Amazon. I don't know how anybody can go onto Amazon as a newbie and try and start a business on there. It'd be impossible. It'd be so difficult.
That's really sad because it used to be really easy.
It's incredible. It's a really incredible option for anybody to start a business with basically zero money and grow a business. It's the best opportunity because it's the biggest marketplace in the world.
Yeah.
It's got really complicated. We had to go through 4 verifications and we've been rejected on the final one, which basically means we can't sell on Amazon until Amazon take off temporary hold. With no timeline on that or anything. So if our business was just to sell on Amazon, which would be very viable and sensible, something like it'd be a very viable business, Amazon just basically shut that down. So we could have ordered all our stock, have everything ready to go, listing on Amazon, and then Amazon said no. That's it.
Which, if you are a small business and that's your lifeline,
Yeah. Which it's a huge lifeline. It's a great. It's there to make small businesses be able to grow, but they just said no, and there's no way around that. So we just got to wait.
Jesus.
So lots of stuff happens. Lots of shit happens. Yeah, we just got to keep going.
But it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
And I do think actually it would sell well in store, in the shop.
You think?
Yeah.
So we didn't design it to be sold in store. That's.
No, I know.
It does kind of say what it is, but it's not clear.
Yeah, but it is something that I would recommend to people who are looking to maybe boost their dog's gut flora, or
Yeah.
they had skin issues, or honestly anything.
There's no probiotic names you can't pronounce in there either. It's like pineapple, papaya,
Yeah.
pumpkin, sweet potato. It's like actual real stuff that does benefit their stomach.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not good, yeah. You can do it. Fly.
Fly.
Did you keep going for you guys?
I know.
Little vendetta. Do you guys kill flies? Is that it?
I would kill a fly.
Yeah, see, that's what I go for.
Do you not kill flies?
No. No, I actually don't. I
Really?
can't.
You've never killed a fly?
I have, but I can't anymore.
There you go.
You know
What?
they don't live very long anyway.
I can kill fleas and ticks, but
Which
I'm so
makes-
sorry.
Did Amelia tell you about those little ladybugs we saw?
To kill them.
No.
We were just rampage to kill those little they were the larvae, weren't they? That was really cool to see. So they're by the entrance to the dolphins hall on the walls either side.
Oh yeah.
Crawling over them. They were slightly bigger. I guess they hadn't curled round so much perhaps now. But they were kind of like yellowy black, weren't they?
Black with like orange stripes.
Yeah. It's like the little
It's
larvae
spiky.
before it turns into a ladybug.
That's
Incredible.
So cool.
Yeah, it was. It
Really,
was
really
pretty
cool to
gross.
see.
I actually hate ladybugs. Yeah.
Why?
Horrible things.
Well, they didn't do anything to you.
They do.
What?
Are you ready? My dad used to live in like this country, like stables thing,
He lives in stables.
Yeah, but it was modified to be a house.
That was a modern farm conversion.
It wasn't modern, it was not modern, okay?
Okay.
And if I had to stay there every other weekend, obviously you have to go to your dad if your parents aren't together. I would stay, and in the room there was a ladybug nest. So they get in the corner or like in a window or in a crevice, and they build this huge nest.
How big are we talking?
Big, like the size of my head and your head, or...
And your dad didn't notice this ladybug?
He did.
Okay.
And I did too, and I said, I don't want to sleep in there with that ladybug nest, because it's gross. And he was like, well, you'll be fine, and you've got no other option. I really do want to. And honestly, at night they come alive. So they buzz around, they fly around the room. They make a huge amount of noise, like a huge buzzing noise.
What kind of noise?
It's like having a nest, like a wasp nest in your room.
How big is this ladybug nest?
I told you.
It's
the
big.
size of your head, but against the wall. So it's a lot of ladybugs. That's obviously where
That's
they
a lot.
lay. And then they will, I don't know, when the larvae come alive. Yes. Fucking horrible.
I mean, I find it bad enough with that of one moth.
One moth?
You try and go to sleep and you're like, just going to quickly look at my phone. She gets smacked in the horrid moth.
You feel it as well. They're quite powerful once they go.
Are powerful.
Yeah.
You feel like the wind on its wings.
Yeah.
But to have loads of little ladybugs, I'd get really freaked out with them and go in my ears.
No,
or
I hate
something.
them. Like, lots of people love ladybugs, don't they? They're like, oh, so cute, they're pretty. I don't know.
So cute.
Yeah.
Ooh, that little cute ladybug.
I don't know, people like them.
Yeah.
I don't. They're horrible. So yeah, it was interesting to see them hatch, but
Yeah, it was really good to see.
I've heard it before.
You've heard it. You've seen it.
I hate them still.
Yeah, disgusting. So yeah,
So yeah, D33. Oh, the other thing, we might launch in America first.
I think you should launch it.
We're going to launch in both places, but
Yeah.
America's a business point of view. It's a bigger market,
Yeah.
more dogs to help.
Does
Yeah.
it also mean you'll get to go on some convenient trips over there?
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be up for that. Business.
Business trip.
Business.
I
Yeah.
know.
Vegas,
Absolutely
Vegas,
Disney World.
Vegas. I'm not going there.
That was good to chat. Thanks for coming on.
How's it having me as your guest?
It's good. And I think, yeah, go and check out D33, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, the link will be in the description.
You do have some really good things on your website about each ingredient.
You do have a good website.
Thank you.
Your website in general is nice to look at.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
mostly
I
Mike.
really like your AI dog.
AI dog.
But
Oh,
Target.
Target AI.
Target,
Yeah, people were hating on that.
I did see a comment on
Yeah.
that gave yourself. You know?
You can't really get like an actual dog to speak though, so
No,
I don't really know
I've-
what they're
I've
expecting to have.
I've
So
tried with
disappointed.
Nairobi. She won't talk. That's tricky. I promise she's not taking a job away from another dog that talks. And if you find a dog that talks, we'll hire them. But it's
As long as
unlikely.
they can say the right words.
Yeah.
You just need loads of those dramatic huskies. As long as you want them to say like no or something.
Just all they'll be like, I love you. I love you. That's all they can
Yeah.
say mostly.
Yeah.
And that
Okay.
is a real
It's not relevant.
no.
Unless you got them doing like the I love you and then looking at a packet of D33. That would be quite good advertising.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
or we could just get AI to get Target to talk.
So
It is a real person behind there.
The voice, yeah. The voice is a real
The voice is
person.
real voice.
The dog is a real dog.
It's just combining them two artificially.
Yeah,
I love it. I think it's great.
it is great.
I think so too. I'd like to watch videos of dogs talking more often.
Have you checked out our Twitter?
I don't have Twitter.
Oh shit, we don't. I don't think you need an account to sign up to Twitter, but you can. There's a lot of videos.
Is it called Twitter?
X.
X.
There's actually so many videos on there.
Really?
Yeah, there's this. It's called VO3, I think it is, and it's Google or Microsoft. But we're limited to 8 seconds per video. But there's absolutely, I don't know how Mike's creating these, but they're incredible. They're really cool little videos, like little paddleboard dogs, a little dog in a supermarket saying, looking at ready. Oh, it's so good. Check it out.
Check it out.
We'll can you add a link?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can link.
Get a link to that, a link to this, a link to that. You're never going to get a guess who's as pushy as this. I think.
Might do. Cool.
You guys, by the way, you guys' podcast is so good.
Thank
what you're doing is really, really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done.
Much
Glad you enjoyed
appreciated.
I know, I really did enjoy it.
Did
So,
you listen to it?
Do you?
I've listened to the first two.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
I'm saving up for my holiday.
This is episode 7.
This is episode 7?
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
We've decided not to introduce the numbers at the beginning.
Don't do that. Yeah, big mistake.
Just
Yeah.
in case.
You're going to feel like I've like 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would you like? Who'd be your... You should start something. You know, like Diary of the CEO. Sorry, I'm interfering. Maybe I don't need to. Let me shut up if you want me to shut up. You know, Diary of the CEO, that like, they get something, someone to write down something, and the next guest answers it or something.
Oh yeah.
You should do something like that.
Yeah, we could do.
So the next question. So do you want to think about that now quickly? What can I ask the next person?
What would you like to
Can you
ask
ask
them?
the next person?
Sorry?
What can you ask the next person?
Who's the next person? Do you know?
No?
Oh.
No. Yeah, we do
Well, you
actually.
actually, yeah, but you can't know.
No. If you could create your perfect dog breed, what would it look like?
Alright.
And would you like to buy D33?
That's 2 questions.
Oh, okay. Would you go for this one?
The first one.
First one.
Alright. We'll ask them.
What's the question?
If you could create your ideal dog breed, what would it be?
Coat, temperament, size, all that stuff.
Alright.
Okay. Sweet.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I'm excited for the D33. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would tell everyone about it.
It's in your job description.
Everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.